Welcome to Mineocast episode 2. Did we win? Yeah, Damar, we won. You won the game of life. Congratulations, brother. So glad to hear that the breathing tube has been removed. You are talking to your friends and family. You have addressed the team. That is a breath of fresh air, and there are millions of people out there that can literally just kind of take a breath and be like, all right, cool, cool. Things kind of worked out. Well, so far, so far. I mean, let's not jump the gun here. There's still going to be a lot of rehabilitation and whatnot, and let's see how things go with his health. But he's breathing, he's talking, his brain works right. He didn't lose any memory or anything. So yeah, man, yeah, big deal. The toy drive. $8 million. I mean, that has to be a surprise. I mean, when he woke up and he's like, "Did we win?" He's like, "Well, the doctors are, told him the obvious stuff, which totally great." But I'm sure somebody like messed with him and was like totally messing with him on his toy drive. Like, yeah, dog, you made like 4 million, and now it's 8 million. So yeah, congratulations on the toy drive. That's awesome. I mean, we're helping out a lot of kids with that. And that's just amazing. I mean, it's amazing that the Bills Mafia pulls resources. Nobody pulls resources and makes shit happen like Bills Mafia. I mean, one day they're going to cure cancer. You fucking watch. The Bills Mafia is going to kill fucking cancer. All right. So, the playoff situation now with the NFL kind of sort of back to business. I mean, it's going to be a little slippery slope to get there. They canceled the game. It's not being replayed. That creates all kinds of problems with scheduling and the playoff situation and the seedings and who plays where and when. The NFL met with owners today and had a unanimous vote, and they have a solution. It's not a perfect solution. Not everybody's happy. Cincinnati is getting screwed a little bit on this with a possible coin toss to determine a home game in the playoffs when they're division champs. They should host a playoff game. That should even be an issue. But it is. And I understand the NFL's problem with that. Here's my problem with it is that it's not fair. Cincinnati's been a class act from the beginning of this. And they should be commended and rewarded for all this, not punished. So I get it. Cincinnati fans, it sucks. It really, really sucks. This has to go through. However, all you have to do is beat Baltimore on Sunday, and that goes away. You should beat Baltimore. They're not bad. They're a decent football team. They're pretty good. They're beat up at quarterback, and they can't move the ball unless they can run the football. And I mean, the Bengals have won 8 in a row. I mean, they looked really good doing it. They're a really good fucking football team. I really don't think they're going to lose this game. And if they do, okay, coin toss for a playoff game. I get it. Shit happens. But you guys are in control of your own destiny. All you got to do is win. So win. Do what you've been doing all year. Win. I have a feeling that the Bills and the Bengals are going to meet before this is all over with. As much as dangerous as Kansas City is, I think people now really want to see the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills play for the AFC Championship. And I think that would be fucking awesome. Buffalo's won 6 straight games. And I thought before DeMar woke up that New England actually had a real chance to beat us. They are a good football team, too. They have a pretty damn good defense. And Mac Jones is hit or miss. I mean, sometimes their offense looks good, really good. And then sometimes they look like straight trash. They did against us, they looked like trash. The last couple times they played us, they looked like trash. So there's nothing that makes me think anything different here. But with the Bills' psyche about their fallen comrade, I actually thought that maybe they have a chance to come in there in Buffalo and beat them, but not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's going to be a fucking slaughter. I really think the Bills are going to go off on the New England Patriots, and they're going to make a statement here. And if we get a little help from the Raiders, maybe we still get that number 1 seed, and all this gets averted. There are some different scenarios here because of this game not being played, but it still can go in the Bills' favor if they win and get a Kansas City loss. all will be forgiven and we get the bye and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And it only would be a problem unless Cincinnati also meets us in the AFC title game. Then that game becomes a neutral site game. And that's okay because that's a win for Buffalo too because no one travels better than Bills Mafia. So you want to have the game in Indianapolis? Cool, we'll travel there. No problem. You want to play the game in Cleveland? We'll travel. We're right next door. Detroit, wherever you want to play it. Wherever you want to play this game, the Bills Mafia will travel to be there. So I ain't worried about that at all. The different scenarios get a little complicated. So I'm just going to kind of just brush over it real quick so I, said it. But every other sports podcast out there is talking about this. And just let everybody know, this is not a sports podcast. This is just a podcast. I will talk about all kinds of things from aliens to Jesus to, God and all that stuff. And we're going to get into some shit, okay? But I'm working out the technical aspects of how the software works. I'm also working on trying to figure out what the best way to communicate with everybody is. So until I get there, I'm just going to start, doing these little ones and just see how it goes. I mean, there's no mission here outside of getting reps. Okay, so road to the AFC Championship game scenarios are as follows. Scenario number 1. If the Bills and the Chiefs both win or tie, a Buffalo-Kansas City Championship game would be played at a neutral site. Scenario number 2. Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Baltimore wins or ties, a Buffalo-Kansas City Championship game will be played at a neutral site. Good to know. Scenario number 3. Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Cincinnati wins. A Buffalo or Cincinnati Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site. So a lot of this can be averted. If the Bills win and Kansas City wins, that's still a neutral site, but Kansas City's still going to get that bye week. The Buffalo Bills will still have to play a playoff game on wildcard weekend. So even though the AFC title game would be a neutral site for the Bills if it's Kansas City or Cincinnati, it's still going to be Kansas City's still going to have that first round bye, which is, I think, the most important thing for this. But since we've gotten a bye now because of the missed game, I think that's kind of irrelevant now. I was hoping for that bye, not just for the home field advantage, but really just to rest our guys that were on the fence of being healthy and not really that healthy to play. Now we're getting to the point where we're starting to get healthy again, and we haven't been this healthy since week 1, and you saw what we did to the Super Bowl champs at their home stadium. So I think the Bills are in a really great spot right now. All they have to do is just keep doing what they've been doing, even if it's ugly. I mean, come on, Kansas City and Cincinnati are going to present problems for anybody. Each other even. But I think that the Bills come out on top. And we'll see. We will see what happens. So yeah, I mean, that's what the playoffs are going to be like. I think because DeMar came back to life, or when I say back to life, I don't mean literally back to life. I mean back to the land of the living where he can communicate with everybody and all that stuff. Since he woke up, I think that's changed a lot of the psychological aspects of how the Buffalo Bills have been approaching this. And I mean, I'm not criticizing whatsoever. I'm just trying to get inside their heads and say, hey, look, okay, now that we have some good news, where are we? How do we fit in football? Are we going to be able to play at the level that we are expected to play at? I definitely think they can. I think they've seen enough this year to warrant that. If you're a spiritual person, a religious person, or a numerology person, I mean, all the causes to the mayhem that is the 2022-2023 football season have prepared the Bills for this situation. Think about that. They've seen a lot of shit this year, ever since the Kansas City 10 seconds in last year's divisional playoff game. Everything has prepared them for this playoff run. And I think if you think in the terms of like God only gives you what you can handle and God's always testing you and all that stuff. If you are a firm believer of that, and I'm not saying that you have to be I'm not. I mean, I'm not a Christian by definition, and I don't believe in a one God creation myth. So there's that. But I do understand what this all means and the significance of it. And I feel like if you are one of those people that believe in that stuff, that a lot of similarities are in this season. And you absolutely should have faith in that. Um, I might harp about faith a lot in my blogs about it not being a measurement of knowledge, and that is to a certain extent true. But there's also a little bit of faith in that as well. I mean, every theory comes with a belief. Every belief is based on on faith in something, be it higher power or the lower power or it all being a power or whatever. So the reason why I'm bringing this up really in relation to this is because the power of prayer. And I'm not even saying the prayer aspect. I'm saying everybody on the planet all thinking positive thoughts about this one person. If our thoughts actually have influence on the material reality, then that is an amazing thing that we all just did. Think about that for a minute. I mean, that is some serious fucking power right there. I mean, not every human being, obviously not every human being, but a large amount of the world population, at least in the Americas or any group of people, country, city, society, whatever, that follows American sports, all had those thoughts in their head. So, yeah, we can say millions. I don't know how many, maybe even billions, but I mean, who knows? I mean, no one's ever going to be able to know the exact number, but it's a lot. It's a lot of people. And you can't just ignore that. You can't just dismiss that as mumbo jumbo nonsense. And a lot of times I would do that. I absolutely would do that in respect to that. But not everything can be explained by science. There are things beyond our understanding of science, and that's where religion and spirituality come in to help ease that blow or that ego blow of not being able to know everything, because science tends to say that we know everything about this thing, but I don't even believe in that. So I just think it's amazing. I think it's awesome what the species of this planet is still capable of doing when we put our heads together and we come up with things that need to be done. I wish that we could do this at a political level. I wish that we could do this at a financial level. I wish that we could do this treating each other with respect. I mean, Jesus, if we can do that, I mean, we can do anything. And we're at the time in human our human growth as beings that we need to take that next step. I mean, we can't keep going like we're going and have these grandiose expectations. Nothing warrants it. We haven't done the work. I mean, I was talking to people today about people just don't want to work anymore, and then they want the easy fast track to things, and you look at some of the stuff that's been happening with people being wrong, like scientists, lawmakers, because they're just people like me and you. They're not special. If they did the work, the real work to get there, to get those PhDs, and didn't cheat and didn't do this to get the superficial piece of paper, then good for them. But I'm starting to see a pattern of a lot of fakers out there, people who act like they are actually more important than they actually are. And it's what you do, man. It's what you do. This is going to be kind of on the short side. There's no reason for me to go on different subjects. I just wanted to tackle, you know, the Mar Hamlin situation because it was my first podcast, and I talked about all the controversial topics that no one wanted to talk to. No one wanted to talk about football and how this affects everybody else and how this affects the millions of dollars, the billions of dollars, all the people, all the resources, all the logistics, all that stuff. No one wanted to talk about that until DeMar woke up. And I get that. I totally understand that. But I don't work for the NFL. I don't work for ESPN. I'm just some broke ass writer who is disabled and has an opinion. And I feel like that I can have that opinion on my own forum without being chastised for it. Am I right or wrong? It's not about being right or wrong. It's about exercising my freedom and trying to have an actual conversation about these things without it turning into I hate you, you hate me, you're dirty, you're this, you're that, I'm that, blah, 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 woke this, da, 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 right, left that, right, that, oh my God. Yeah, exactly. So So yeah, I mean, we're just chilling. So what I'm gonna do tonight is, I don't know if any of you heard the streaming service called Pluto. Pluto TV is a streaming service that streams free content. They show some newer stuff, but for the most part, it's almost all back catalog stuff. But you can find some gems in there, and I found two gems I'm gonna watch tonight, and that's Wolf Cop and Wolf Cop 2, another Wolf Cop. And it's exactly what you think it is. Take the concept or the dark humor of the Evil Dead 2, and yeah, it's a cop who is a werewolf. Exactly. But it's brilliant. It's funny. It's actually, the special effects are quite good. Actually, I don't remember the filmmaker, and I'm sorry because I'm not doing a movie review here, so I don't have it all scripted out. But the guy that did this has a sense of humor, but he also knows how to make a decent movie. It works. It works on so many levels. And I remember in 2014 when it came out, no one was talking about this. I think if it came out today, I think people would be like, "Oh my god, you gotta look to see the Shutter movie on Shutter. It's amazing. It's called Wolf Cop. It's so hilarious," and it is. It's great. It's hilarious. So I mean, if you're looking for something to watch tonight, tomorrow night, whenever, and you need a horror comedy, you can watch Wolf Cop duology. It's on Pluto TV. Also about Wolf Cop is that they're both short. The first film was an hour and 19 minutes, and the second movie is about the same. So these aren't even 90-minute movies. You can bang these out real quick, watch them back to back. So, I mean, there's really nothing keeping you from doing that. I was going to go see Avatar tonight, but I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do several other things for myself, like go get a pair of shoes. And I got the last pair of sevens in all of Walmart. And yeah, I do wear a size 7, and it is impossible to buy shoes at stores. Usually I go on Amazon, but funds are tight. When you're disabled and you don't have benefits coming in and you're fighting for those benefits, yeah, you're going to just get whatever you can afford. I like to go out on these walks. It helps clear my head. It also helps me get my audiobook in so I can listen to the audiobook and, go through my stories. Right now, I'm listening to Harry Turtledove's World War series. I'm on the second colonization, and basically, what this is, in a summary, really, really quickly, is that what if lizard aliens invaded the Earth during World War II, and it plays out the scenario. It's actually a really good idea. It's not bad, but it's a little slow. There's a lot of exposition that it's unnecessary exposition. If you were going to translate this into a novel, into a film or a mini series or a TV show, a lot of it would be cut to shit. And I'm sure Mr. Turtledove would fucking go nuts to have his novels cut like that. But from a storytelling point of view, there is a lot of scenes happening that are absolutely irrelevant to the story. So with that said, I'm still going to listen to these books and enjoy them. The one that you really should listen to or read is called Guns of the South. Same premise, alternate history, except for it's about time travelers that travel back to the second half of the Civil War and introduce Robert E. Lee with the technology and the AK-47. So not only is he given AK-47s, he's given the kind of the specs on how to develop the technology. They don't want them to do that, but they're doing it anyways. They also are introduced into freeze-dried food, which, what we all know, our history, I hope, that the Civil War, one of the biggest problems with the South was they didn't have any food. They were starving. Well, if you had unlimited amounts of food and AK-47s and you're fighting the North, you're probably going to win the war. And that's exactly what happens. But it's a great, great twist on the history of what we know about the Civil War. And I just thought that taking some of these real life characters and giving them some character and making them a character in a fiction story is a great idea. And it's a standalone. There's no series, no sequels. It's just a standalone book. But man, that'd be a great mini series, or a show based on the book, and then you just branch out because there wasn't a sequel, so you can write your own sequel. But yeah, that'd be awesome to do. Okay, yeah, we're hitting 20-minute mark. That's good. There's no reason to go on with this. Again, I'm going to just upload the whole video. I'm not going to edit it. No title, no credits, none of that BS. We're not there yet. This is just trying to get my feet wet in this arena and see where it goes. Again, not very scripted. I wrote a couple notes to see how it would go, and I went zip right through those, so I know now I can write them a little bit more in depth and go with that. So that'll work. That'll work. Upload speeds are a pain in the ass, so I'll probably upload this tonight before I go to bed because oh my god, it's gonna take hours for it to fucking upload and it's gonna bog down all my TVs in the house. So we don't want that. Don't want to piss off anybody. God forbid. All right, people. I'll see you when I see you. I don't know when I'll come on next, and I'm not sure what my next podcast is going to be about, but we'll work on it. We'll work on it. It's getting there. It's getting there. Like, comment, and subscribe. Again, please comment. I could really use the feedback on what's working, what's not working. If you just think I'm ugly, go ahead. Write me. I don't care. It's cool. Fine. I got thick skin, man. I have neuropathy all over my body. I can't feel shit. So what makes you think I can feel something inside, right? All right. Well, let's everybody have a good Friday. It's Friday night, and it's almost 10 o'clock, and it's time to get spooky with some wolf cop.